So there's Soper in pole position on the left, Andy Rouse on the right, then it's Graham Good in third place, Mike Newman is fourth, Dennis Leach in the black Rover, Mike O'Brien in the Holden, Rob Gravitt, Carl Jones, Guy Edwards and Jerry Marnie, the championship leader, down in 10th place. This is Marnie and he's got a lot to do. So away they go, and watch Andy Rouse. Look at him, he streaks ahead of Soper into the lead, and Marnie is on the move, closing up to Dennis Leach. There's Gravitt in the blue and white car. Guy Edwards to the right. Down to Campbell, the first bend in the complex. Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave. Rouse leads. Soper second in car with Marnie. And right up alongside him, Smith passes. Mike Smith in the BMW. Now down to Cobb and Seagrave and on towards Kimpton. All strung out already. Now a replay of the start with Mike Smith in the left-hand drive BMW. There's Jerry Marnie ahead. Pulling away from us, Frank Sittner on the right in the other BMW. On the right now is Guy Edwards in the blue and white Ford Sierra Cosworth. We're closing on Marnie. Closing on Edwards, getting across to the right. Sittner goes through, and we've hit Edwards Sierra, but we're past it. And now down to Club Chicane. It's Andy Rouse leading. Andy Rouse ahead of Steve Soper. What a terrific start. Mike Newman in the background in third position. Then it's Mike O'Brien in the Holden, the big Holden V8, across the line. Rouse leads, Soper second, Newman third. There's Mike O'Brien in the Holden, fourth. Gravitt, Dennis Leach in the big black and red Rover. Round Allard. Up towards the complex. And now we're back with Mike Smith, ninth position. Ahead of us, Frank Sittner in the fellow BMW and Dennis Leach in the Rover. Through the complex. Right, left, right. This is Seagrave. And off goes Bob Sands, number 17, Bob Sands, cuts the corner, rejoins the circuit. He's kept going, no problem, joins behind Carl Jones. And Soper is starting to harry Andy Rouse. Both of them in the Ford Sierra Cosworths, round Church, on towards the right-hander at Brooklands. And they're pulling away from the rest. Look at the gap behind Steve Soper with Mike Newman in third position. And Jerry Marnie in 10th position is chasing Mike Smith ahead of him. Frank Sittner is ahead of Mike Smith. This is 450 horsepower, passing 320 horsepower. Past Mike Smith, up to Frank Sittner, into the chicane. Right. And Smith goes through. That was audacious. 6 cars ahead of us now. Over the line to finish the lap. And Jerry Marnie gained a place and then he lost it. And here he is, there's Marnie round the right-hander, still chasing Smith, still chasing Sittner. And Dennis Leach going superbly in the older Rover. Now we're with Marnie, 10th position. There's the 2 white BMWs ahead, 2.3 litres, much smaller engines, very, very nimble though. And behind Jerry, it's Harvey, Edwards, and off goes Bob Sands, number 17. That's a big one, straight into the absorbent tyre wall, and it's lucky for him that that was there. Let's look at it again. Number 17, Bob Sands. He goes very wide onto the grass, loses it into the tyre wall. And that just shows the value of the tyre wall. The chicane, Rouse leads, Soper second. Mike Newman still in third position. Ford Sierras, first, second, third, and fourth, because there's Good. There's Gravitt in fifth position. O'Brien in the Holden, sixth. Leach, seventh. Sittner, eighth. Smith, ninth. And Jerry Marnie, number 8, in 10th place. Up to the complex. Andy Rouse, the multiple British champion, keeping ahead of Steve Soper. You heard what Steve Soper said about tyres. Is he playing a waiting game? Just keeping Andy Rouse ahead of him. Comfortably positioned to challenge. This is what Rouse sees, a clear track. Over 130 miles an hour as he comes up to the fastest part of the course. Down towards the chicane. at the end of the lap with Steve Soper big in his mirrors. Behind them, Sittner and Smith fighting for 8th position. And there ahead of them, Leach and O'Brien. Leach in the Rover, O'Brien in the Holden. And somewhere behind there, it's Jerry Marnie. There he is, Jerry Marnie in 10th position. What a race. Marnie's gaining. We're with him. Past Smith. Up to Sittner. Past Sittner. 8th position for Jerry Marnie now, and we're riding with him as we close up on Dennis Leach in the big Rover. Ahead of him is Mike O'Brien into the chicane. Clip the curbs, the end of the lap. There's O'Brien, Leach, Marnie, Sittner and Smith. 5 cars, 4 different makes. The BMWs are hanging on to the heavy metal ahead. And there's Alan Minshaw in his rebuilt BMW. Smashed it up at Alton Park. It's a new body shell, a new engine, and here's the Flying 5. O'Brien ahead in 6th position. Leach terrific in the comparatively old Vitesse, and Marnie is gaining on the Rover V8 ahead. Watch his hands. It's like driving on ice. Leach getting bigger and bigger. 140 miles an hour they're building up to here. O'Brien 6th, Leach 7th, Marnie 8th, Sittner 9th, and there is Smith in 10th position. 5 cars virtually together. Marnie in 7th position. Catching Leach, passing Leach past the Rover. Now up to O'Brien. The big Holden swinging in front of us. Down a gear. This is for the chicane. Trying to get inside. Mike O'Brien, big wide car. Left, right, completing the lap. 2 seconds, cover 5 cars, and Marnie is attacking O'Brien for 6th position. Up to the complex, O'Brien, Marnie, Leach, Sittner, Smith. Here they come. There's O'Brien, into the right-hander, into the left-hander. O'Brien's holding that position. There's Leach, the 2 BMWs. And behind them, 2 very different BMWs. There's Alan Minshaw's M3 and Peter Buxtorf's Black 635. Goodwood, Rouse and Soper, 1st and 2nd, are catching the tail enders. And back behind them, Marnie ahead of Leach. So it's now O'Brien in 6th place, Marnie 7th, Leach 8th, Sittner 9th, and Mike Smith in 10th place. And that's what Mike Smith sees ahead of him, Frank Sittner. And up ahead, Marnie rockets past O'Brien at the chicane. It's all change at Thruxton. We're back with Smith, and Sittner goes through. Sittner up ahead of us, retakes the position. Fearless Frank Sittner goes into the chicane, followed by Mike Smith. That's us, over the line. And Alan Minshaw in the 2.3-litre BMW is still ahead of Buxtorf, although he's giving away over a litre. A lap completed. The complex, and Soper is attacking. Soper in the red and black Ford Sierra Cosworth is attacking the race leader, Andy Rouse. To Kimpton, to Goodwood, he's going for the lead. Very, very close stuff. Right ahead of Steve Soper, Andy Rouse. What magnificent driving. And now we're in car with the left-hand drive of Steve Soper. Some 500 horsepower ahead of us, 140 miles an hour. And just look at the way Soper is harrying Andy Rouse every inch of the way. Remember that Rouse is on a softer tyre compound than Steve Soper. Steve Soper knows it, and he's pushing Rouse as hard as he can. Down to the chicane. They're coming up to the midfield men now to lap them, never mind the tail end men. Another lap completed. Soper, we're riding with Soper. That's the race leader, Andy Rouse, ahead of us. Round Allard, up to the complex. Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave, the right, left, right. Stoper gets through on the inside. Andy Rouse will see that and he'll try and block him, and he does so. Goes straight across onto the curbing. That's okay. Out of Campbell.